What's going on, everyone? Honda Fit for Adventure, and today we're going to be removing the upper B pillar on a 3rd generation Honda Fit. To do this, you're going to need a 14mm socket or wrench, most likely a torque wrench to secure the seat bolt back in place, and then a small flathead screwdriver to pop the seat belt cover off so you can access the nut. All right, the upper B pillar removal, POV. Hopefully this captures everything. And let's see how long it takes us. Ooh, let's open our doors. Get access to the trim removal. Remove it to where the lower B pillar meets the other lower trim. Then we're gonna remove the lower B pillar, tab, one on the lower bottom. For finger's thumb, pop it out. There we go. You don't have to fully remove it. Take our flathead screwdriver, pop it in the back, listen. And then there's one on each side. Pull back a little bit. Came off. Now when you remove this, just be careful that the button doesn't pop off. Slide the cover over the adjustment. Let's take our socket wrench, 12mm bolt, not 12, 14. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Bolt's attached, it's not going to fall through. Now there's a push-in tab there, a push-in tab on the top, and then 2 slide-in inserts. Again, be careful of this so it doesn't pop off. There you go. 1, 2, upper tab and the lower tab. If this button pops off, I have another video on my channel on how to fix the seatbelt adjustment assembly. Anyway, let's put this back into place. Let's get our 2 inserts. Can you see the metal frame in there that they go into? Slide it back into place, click. There we go. Let's get our seat belt. There we go. 1, 2. One down here. Take our 14mm socket wrench, put our seat belt back into place. Switch over to our torque wrench. I believe this is 22 foot-pounds, and my torque wrench is not the greatest because it doesn't lock. I'm gonna burn my time. Perfect. Get our plastic cover back on. Top 2 and then the side 2. Make sure they're in all the way. There you go. That's in. Let's get our trim back into place. If you have a bubble, just work it into the door. Nice and even. One door down. Door number 2. Just under 5 minutes. And that's how you remove and install an upper B pillar in a 3rd generation Honda Fit. Thank you for watching. To get started, let's remove the weather stripping from both sides of the pillar. Roughly all the way down to the lower portion of the B pillar. Remove the weather stripping on the other side. With the weather stripping out of the way, let's remove the cover so we can access the nut to remove our seat belt. You might want to use a plastic pry tool to prevent any scratching, but I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver. There's a tab on the top and then 2 longer slide tabs on the side. I'm going to start with pushing in on the front tab. With the top portion popped out, use your flathead screwdriver, work your way down and pop out the side and the other side. If your squeeze button came off while removing the plastic cover, it's nothing to worry about. It's just going to take an extra 5 minutes when reassembling the B pillar and a 12mm socket. Now that our plastic cover has been removed, we're going to remove the seat belt using a 14mm socket. I already loosened this up for camera purposes. When the seat belt's removed, don't worry about losing the bolt because it is firmly attached. With the seat belt removed, let's remove the upper portion of the lower B pillar. You can remove the full thing or just pull back on the upper portion. There's a small tab, one on each side, and then a green push button tab right on the bottom. Just put your thumbs there, 4 fingers, pull back. Here the clip, pull back on here, doing the same method. There you go. It's pretty much removed. Moving on to the upper B pillar, there's a push-in tab in here that's more rectangular shape, and one up here, and then 2 slide-in tabs. So once again, we're going to pop out the bottom one. The whole thing came out. So there's one here, one there, and then 2 prongs. So most likely you're going to pop out the bottom, pop out the top, and then slide those out. Tab on the bottom, tab toward the top, and then the 2 prongs. So when we put this back, you're going to slide it upward first, and then push in and secure the tabs. From a different angle, 4 fingers, thumbs, pop up the upper one, lower tab, pull that back, lower tab, upper tab, 2 slot tabs. To remove this, you're going to need a 12mm wrench. There is a bolt toward the top and a bolt toward the bottom. You can remove this plastic piece and then use a socket wrench, but the tabs on this are very small and brittle and more of a process to put back together. Remind me to get one of those ratcheting wrenches. Nice catch. How the seatbelt assembly works is when you pull this forward to adjust it up or down, the plunger moves in, and then you move it to another pre-existing hole. Put your squeeze button back on, make sure this is located in the right direction. You want the seat bolt hole located downward and the angle slanted out toward your right. Push in the button and move the rail so it holds it down. You can now see that the tab and the spring will be held upward. And take your button, you're going to slide it underneath the metal rail. A little bit of effort. If you pull it and it doesn't move, again, don't worry. Pull it and slide the rail with your thumb. This will move a lot more freely once it's back into place and secure. While this is off, let's document the tabs on this plastic cover. You can see there's one big one right there. That one's not too bad, nice and strong. These two are long and skinny and have a high chance of breaking, just for your information. So if this cover pops off too, again, no big deal. It's just going to take an extra minute to place it back onto the bracket. So let's reinstall this and get our seat belt and B-pillar back into place. Let's put this back into place. Bolt location, bolt location. We'll hand tighten it for now. Now use the adjustment to slide the plastic trim down and access the top bolt. You might need to hold it a little bit with your thumb. There we go. Slide it up, get the bottom bolt. Like a good person, don't forget to torque these. It should be 22 pounds. Torque wrench is kind of busted here. To put the upper B-pillar back into place, we're going to need to slide it on, upward, and then push in the top tab and the bottom tab. See, here's the bottom one, and here's the upper one. Make sure this piece is centered so you can have access to both tab locations. Let's slide it on and up, and then snap it into place. Once the upper B-pillar is attached, we can now attach the lower B-pillar. Pop in the upper two tabs, top right, top left, and don't forget the green tab on the bottom right. Now let's reattach our seatbelt using our 14mm socket. once again, should be about 22 pounds of torque. With the seatbelt back into position, let's put on our plastic cover. Carefully slide it over the plastic so we don't lose our button again. 2 tabs on the top and 1 on each side. Push it in until it clicks. Top ones are in, make sure the side ones are in and secure. Hear that click again. Good as new. Now let's put our weather stripping back and call this project done. If you have a bulge in your weather stripping, don't worry, just rub it in, work it into place. Now let's get the front passenger side. And that's how you remove the upper B pillar on a 3rd generation Honda Fit. Thank you for watching.